Good morning. Don't mind my Batman cup. It's actually the perfect size for coffee. Like for just like one espresso. So I use my kids' cups. So today I wanted to talk about 5 hacks, 5 mom hacks, 5 things that make my life a little bit easier, and maybe they make your life a little bit easier too, or maybe they could. You might even do some of this stuff already. I actually would love to hear any hacks that you might have. So please leave me a comment down below if there's anything you wanted to add. But okay, let's do this. So hack number 1 is something that a lot of you have asked me about. So Henrik has witching hour in the afternoons. The only way for me to get anything done is actually to wear him, to put him in a wrap or a sling, and to cook or do things around the house. So I prefer the sling because I can kind of wear him a little bit to the side, and then I still have my hands free, especially my right hand. I'm right-handed. So I'm going to show you guys how to put on the sling because that's one of the most frequent questions. So that's hack number 1, wear your baby, then you can cook, and this is how I do it. So the first things first, I open it all up every time, almost every time, just because it gets changed, and then I thread it back through. I pull it out this way, I thread it here. Then I spread out the ends just to make sure it's really properly done. Okay. So with it like this, pull it back, I put my arm through, and I put it over my shoulder. First thing I do is I make sure I'll make sure that the rings are almost directly over my shoulder, almost a little bit behind me, because what happens is when I start to pull this, the rings move forward, so if I don't have it far enough back, he's not gonna sit very comfortably, and this isn't gonna be very comfortable. So next, I need my baby. I wanna make sure that I have this pocket here is a bit tighter, closer to my stomach, and a little bit loose over here. So to do that, to tighten around the stomach, you pull from this side. To tighten the top, you pull from this side. So mine's already set up. So with the baby over my shoulder, I spread his legs, and I have him sit all the way back, and then I pull this up. I don't know if you can see how spread out his legs are. Now at this point, he's just leaning back. So what I want to do is actually prop him up, even though he's sitting pretty deep. So I do that by holding on to him and holding on to the rings there, and then I start to tighten the rings. And you see how this moves forward. There we go. Tight, tight, tight. Okay? And to make it extra comfortable for me, I just spread it out at the back. So I tighten it I tighten the side that goes underneath his bum. That would be this side. And if I want to tighten the top part that goes up top around his neck, I pull this side and I pull it just across, pull it across. Okay, there we go. All right, so hack number 2 is dry shampoo. Now dry shampoo is not new, I'm sure you already do it. But this is the difference. So I use my dry shampoo. First of all, I buy it in bulk at Costco, but I put on my dry shampoo when my hair is clean and the night before. So say for example, I take a shower this morning, my hair is nice and clean. Tonight, I will use it. I will spray my hair, I will spray my scalp really, really well. I don't even bother brushing it out. I just sort of work it in with my fingers, and then I sleep on it. And what that does is it actually creates body overnight because I'm tossing and turning on my pillow. That gets worked in even more, and then it provides it adds sort of a barrier between my scalp and the grease never comes out. So my hair just ends up looking pretty refreshed for at least 4 days until I have to reapply. But even when I reapply it, again, I do it at night. I don't do it during the day. I find it works better, and then I don't have all that like white film that's on my hair. Hack number 3, coffee. My coffee is always cold. I make a big pot in the morning before I take the kids to school, but the problem with it is usually I end up getting caught up in like making lunches, putting things together, and I just don't finish my coffee, so my coffee is always cold. I don't like taking a mug with me in the car. It's messy, and
One thing I really love is actually going through, you know, Starbucks drive-through, or I love going to some of the local coffee shops and getting a cup of coffee, but I don't have that kind of time, obviously, in the morning. But I'd like to finish the coffee that I started. So what I did was, this isn't even really my hack, I stole it from my friend Nicole. We order coffee mugs, the paper cups, and the lids. We order them from Amazon, and anything we don't finish in the morning, or even if we feel like a refresher, we top it up and we take it to go. And then we get that satisfaction of having the cup of coffee with us in the car, having it at school drop-offs, but at the same time, we didn't spend any more time going out and getting it. It's not incredibly environmentally friendly, but it does make me feel a little bit better. Hack number 4, homework. I find my children are exhausted at night after school, so we try not to do our homework after school. I try to do the homework with the kids in the morning when they're refreshed. Now, we do Kumon, and that's like a whole nother topic. So my kids go to Kumon. That means that they have worksheets, so both Magnus and Johannes have it. It's about 20 minutes of work that they each need to do. Plus Johannes has some homework that he needs to do for his class as well. But again, I find that he is at his best. He's able to retain the most information. He's able to focus the most. And he's in the best mood to do it first thing in the morning at 7 a.m. So while I make breakfast, usually the kids do their Kumon. That's also when Henrik is the most happy too. So he can go off and he plays usually by himself, and he's okay doing it. And that helps to avoid the majority of the fights or any kind of stresses. This may change obviously as my kids get older and as the homework maybe becomes a little bit longer, but for now this works for us. And hack number 5, school lunches are a big source of stress for us because my kids don't finish their food. They like different things. Johannes is super into vegetables. He's a big vegetable eater. He always was. So he tends to bring home his sandwiches. Now Magnus is the opposite. Magnus doesn't like vegetables, but he loves bread. So he will finish off an entire sandwich. So what I started doing is actually once a week at least, I put instead of making them a sandwich, I make them a wrap, and then I cut it accordingly. So Johannes likes it in little pieces. He eats it better if they're bite-sized. And if I put a piece of cucumber in there, it's even better. If your kids can't have dairy at their school, because I know some kids have allergies, what you could do is you can use hummus, and you can put whatever meat you want. You can use avocado as a spread. You can use just something that holds it together. And then use vegetables, whether it's peppers or cucumbers or tomatoes or whatever your child likes. You can put those all inside and make it crunchy, which makes it a little bit tastier. But if you cut it into little bite-sized pieces, they tend to eat it better. Now Magnus, again, is not a vegetable eater, but he loves apples. So I cut up apples and I put it beside it. He doesn't like his food to touch. So, depending on what container I have, not all my containers have nice little compartments. Sometimes I just use tin foil and it creates like a little separation, and then he can have, you know, both his little wrap and his apples. But those are my 5 mom hacks. I actually have a giant list of stuff that I do. But I think we'll cover those off maybe in another topic or in another video. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you found my video useful, and if you did, please remember to subscribe below. I'm putting out videos twice a week right now, though my goal is to do 3, maybe starting on Monday. I am not making any promises though. This is all super new to me. My channel is very new, so I'm just sort of diving in and figuring out all the programs, and it's taking a little bit of time. But thank you again, and have a nice weekend, you guys.